John the Oracle.
John the Oracle, or John's Oracle.
Well, please share, guys. Please share, guys. It'll take a wee while for us to get everybody to log on. We'll just do some sharing ourselves on our pages.
We are indeed.
It comes live. It's like, here we go.
Okay. So, okay. Sending data stream. Well, I seem to be streaming on YouTube all right so far.
Yep, so all the streams are going. We're going to Twitch. Is he Happy Medium 65?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, your stuff has appeared. Oh, well, wow, I'm impressed this works. I'm impressed. Your stuff's appeared on my profiles. How does that work anyway? Done. There we go. Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? I don't know why I'm so hoarse just now. I haven't even started. I'm glad I've got my juice.
You've got to get your juice, John, and everybody get their cups of tea.
I was thinking about beer, but I thought I better not. It's not a good impression to make, is it? If you're having a chat show on social media, and just sitting there with a ton of beer, it just looks awful, doesn't it? Not that I haven't ever done that before.
Some there'll be a few people sitting having a beer watching anyway, and some people will have the choice of watching the potential Prime Minister debate at 8 o'clock, but hopefully we can have a better debate talking about abundance. Because this week's subject is all about abundance. See if I can...
of which neither of those particular competitors for that role probably want us to have too much of. So we're going to have to find some for ourselves. We're not going to be relying on either Truss or Sunak for any of that. I did promise myself not to get political, but apparently it's okay if you're smashing the Tories.
Hello, Rosemary, and hello, Chloe. We're just waiting for a few others to log on. And, because a lot of people were a little bit behind in the stream. Pop in and see us, so get sharing, guys, and let people know we're on. Yes. It's a good topic tonight. It's a positive subject, talking about abundance and what it means to you. Hi, Lee.
Yeah.
And then we'll be pulling some cards later on, and we'll be doing some bit of banter in between.
I keep glancing over this side of me because that's where my cards are, and I have forgotten to fetch any for this because I've been too busy setting up my little studio here. but they're only there. I'll grab them shortly.
I've got messages from Angel and tarot cards tonight, but we'll just wait till there's a few more. And thanks, Denise, for sharing. If you could share, get to the platforms, the more people get on, the more debate we can have, and a good subject. And it's better than watching that thing on Sky tonight, that debate.
That was on Sky, is it, that debate?
It's on, I think it's big things at 8 o'clock on Sky, isn't it? Hi, Caroline. Karen it is. And see if there's any more. I'll just check the Twitch platform.
Right, there we go.
You've got some good questions, guys, about abundance. I'll take them in just now. And what abundance means to you. What does abundance mean to you guys?
Or even suggestions, because I could use some abundance as well. So if you guys have got any suggestions of abundance for us, go for it. Because this can be a two-way street, and we can teach each other. Because we're all looking for that.
You've got abundance of love out there.
Oh, I'm not. People... Far from moaning. I'm looking for sharing the love here.
So it is about abundance tonight. I'm just checking my channel here.
I've got a really itchy nose. What is it, the superstition about having an itchy nose again? I can't remember. Is it because somebody's going to punch me? Or was it just somebody talking about me? Is somebody being nosy about me?
I think it's all to do with an argument. There's a question for people. It's to do with.
I don't want to have an argument.
It's to do with arguments. Well, normally you're arguing about politics at this time, so.
Yeah. Well. I know it's difficult to shut me up about that, but normally I'm complaining about all the polarity and the fact that I don't want people to argue with each other all the time.
Yeah. I'm just turning the volume down on all these devices I've got here because I'm working from home tonight. Where's
I can hear you on your devices. By the way, I'm just saying.
There we go. Having a healthy and having a comfortable life to live on, what abundance means to Denise Simpson. And one of the reasons I chose this subject, and we had a kind of different subject with the chat earlier on in the week, and there's a lot of kind of talk about lack, isn't there, John? It's like we can't pay the bills, a lot of lack talk, so that puts us in a negative mindset. So we thought we'd talk about abundance, but abundance doesn't mean prosperity, because prosperity and abundance, people think they're the same. They're not. They're totally different, John. What do you think?
Well, here's the thing. When you think about abundance, what is it that you're talking about? Denise makes a good point there when she says having my health. The second thing she says is having a comfortable life enough to live on. But again, so health is one aspect of comfort, isn't it? And there's a lot of other things that goes into having a comfortable life. And there's an awful lot of things that go into abundance. And so health and comfort could be two of those things. But what else is there? All sorts of things. Love in your life. What love have you got in your life? Have you got people in your life who love you and who you love? That's a form of abundance. Do you feel generally happy and joyful? Have you got a life where you get to have enough free time to do the things you love, whether it's walking along the beach, whether it's a stroll in the country or in a park, whether it's whether it's watching Netflix or just sharing time with people you care about. All of these different things are all forms of abundance. And then, of course, we have money. Now, it's only my opinion, but I don't think money is abundance. I think money is just a tool in order to acquire things. So forms of abundance that money can buy might be some nice things, like, for example, the computer equipment I've got that allows me to have these shows with Derek, and the nice, this fancy little microphone that I got recently. That's a form of abundance. The money I spent on it was just a tool that I used to achieve it. I think part of the problem that a lot of people have is they associate money specifically with abundance, and that's where the unhealthy aspect of money comes in. So really, if you really want to bring abundance to yourself, what you want to do is to bring is to concentrate your effort, if you like, not on the finance, not on the money, and definitely not on the lack of money, but on the actual things and experiences that you want to have. And then we get into manifestation and law of attraction and stuff as well, of course, don't we?
Yeah, it's definitely. I just see we've lost our background for some reason there. It's like, where are we going? It's like,
what went there? Did you go or did I go?
I'm on this view instead. Well, Louise Andrews said abundance of money from Louise there, and I think what a lot of people associate abundance is with money, and it's kind of a false. And there's prosperity, which we can prosper and be kind with, and prosperity is linked sometimes with money, what we own and stuff like that, being prosperous. But abundance is slightly different. Abundance to me is abundance of love, abundance of food, abundance of friends. Abundance is a different word, and it gets confused with money. And I think that's where a lot of people, when we're talking about money, it's like, I didn't like money, because I seen what the damage money did in my early years to the offshore industry. The Americans try to make money in the early days and try to cut corners in safety. I never had enough money, so I didn't like what it did to people. And I seen what people who had a lot of money did and wasted that money. So I never had a good relationship with money when I was younger, John, as you know. I wasted it.
My relationship with money is very fleeting, shall we say? Certainly, especially when I was younger, I had a relationship with money that was always very fleeting, in that it seemed to go in one hand and fly straight out the other. So, but this is a common problem, and again, this is a lot of that has to do with a perception of lack. It's like we feel like we never have enough money, and we seem to attribute all the ills that we have in life and the things that we don't have in life to not having money. And you know, from a logical perspective, you might think that makes perfect sense. But again, if you want to bring, you know, abundance to you, it's important to remember that abundance comes in different forms, and not to think of it in terms of money, because if you think of it in terms of money and all you can think of is lack, that you don't have it, then all you're really going to do is bring to yourself more of what you keep concentrating your mind on, more lack. You know, so it's more important to concentrate your mind on on what money can buy and the things that money can't buy. You know, so if you want something that money can buy, then don't think about the money it's going to cost. Think about the thing. Think about the things that you'll do with it afterwards. You know, when you have it, and think of the experiences that you'll have, and imagine those experiences happening in the now moment, and do it that way. Don't think about the money at all. And appreciate what you have. Gratitude is massively important. If you don't show gratitude and remember to have gratitude for the things you have now, then more won't come to you. Because again, that's concentrating on lack. So you want to have gratitude and be grateful for everything. You know, get up in the morning, write down the first 5 things that come into your mind that you're grateful for. Just do it as a habit, you know, just do it every day. And, you know, and form these habits of being grateful for everything you have now, and more will come. And this is what, and this is what's important when we're thinking about abundance, is to remember to not think about it in terms of lack, not think about it in terms of money. And it's especially important to think about it in these ways at the moment, when we can see things are so difficult in the world, and when things are getting harder financially for all of us in different ways. It's important for us right now to think of abundance in other forms, and not just think about money, and especially not concentrate on thinking about lack.
I think you bring up a good point about the gratitude, and it's what we give can create abundance for someone else. You know what I mean? And giving gratitude and giving thanks. You're totally right. In the morning, when Angela, every morning when she gets up, she's got her YouTube videos on, she's in the shower, and she's playing all these positive affirmation type videos to get in a good mood. And it's gratitude, it's abundance. And basically, she's visualizing how her day's going to be. And I'm doing the same. Don't get me wrong, I've got a slightly different way of getting up, a bit slower to get up in the mornings than Angela, because she goes up and does exercises where I get up and do all my emails and posts. Then I do my exercises until I wake up, because I'm a bit stiff in the morning, slower in getting up. But that allows me the time to give thanks, and it gives thanks to, you know, and I always do that positive post in the morning. If you've seen lately, I've been doing a lot of positive posts and what's on my mind for people that day. Because I always say, up to my angels, saying, who can I help today? Who can I make or put a smile on their face today? And give that thought out. And sometimes I tune into people who I'm worrying about, or who I haven't heard from for a while, and all of a sudden you get that text, John, you know, and we attract that.
Yeah.
This comes into the law of attraction. Now, the law of attraction doesn't really work without the law of resonance. And it's just like Helen Murray saying there, health, love, and happiness. If we resonate that, we attract it. And to me, that's abundance. So if we resonate, as you say, the abundance, it'll come to us in all shapes and forms.
Yeah, well, actually, yes, it's one of the things that I've always said about the law of attraction, is it doesn't work on its own. And to making this as brief as I possibly can, just in a minute or so. And the most people, when they think about the sort of so-called universal laws, although there can be anything from 7 to 105, depending on what book you read, or where you read and where you get your information, most people think about 12 universal laws. Who speak about it and who write about it. And you know, even if we just stick to those 12 and we don't worry about the rest of them, if we ignore most of the rest of the 12 and we only think about the law of attraction as being one of those 12, and that's all we think about, and then what's going to happen is we're going to wonder afterwards, how come we keep doing all these things about the law of attraction to try and manifest things for us, but somehow it never seems to happen for us. And the reason is because the law of attraction is only one part of the equation. We need to look at the other, if you like, universal laws as well. Another one, the law of correspondence. You know, I've spoken about that one before, I think. And, you know, sometimes we think about the term as above, so below, or as within, so without. In other words, this state of you on the inside will be reflected in your world on the outside. And that's what Derek's talking about in part, at least with resonance. You know, so it's very important to try and help yourself and be in the best state that you can be in terms of your positive mindset, which is why Angela's doing all these things with affirmations in the morning as well, because that way you are employing more than only the law of attraction on its own, and you have a much better chance to bring the things to you that you want.
And I think that the example, you know, we've got many examples of friends helping friends, and we've done it over the years. You've helped me with websites and whatnot, and I've helped you with equipment or something like that, or a bit of advice. And when we're drawn to somebody who we feels maybe not feeling that abundant or feeling that a bit down, it's always good to give them a shout. And another thing that not surprises me, it's true, is when we say abundance and love, it doesn't have to be human love, because there's our pets, our animals, you know, and there's a lot of pet therapy, John. You've got your cat, and
yes,
and
my little witchy cat.
And I've seen even like with my friend Lydia Mayer is Alan, her partner. He's got budgies and birds, and he just loves them and sells them, trains them, and just pet food, and that makes him feel abundant, because it's got abundance of love of a different kind. But that makes him feel good. So abundance to me means a lot of different things. And yes, abundance in love, abundance in friends. And it's not a case of the associates, the real friends. And one of the things I'll be talking about next week, John, is psychic vampires. Oh. And, you know, I've got somebody who wrote actually a book. And it's a subject that people have been wanting me to talk about, is the psychic vampire, especially coming up to Halloween and stuff soon.
Oh, we're not going astral walking the lower plane, is that way? You know, it's a good.
No, we're not doing that. But
I got attacked last night. It was horrible.
Yeah, but I've got the author of Cheerleaders and Vampires in Their Life, and that's what we're talking about tonight. In senses, we've got examples of positive, and there's a vampires, and that could be people who take a lot of your time, who don't appreciate your time. It's like teachers who've got a crowd of pupils who are not appreciating what they do, or you know, you might feel let down by your employer. And you're taking your energy, and that stops that flow of abundance. So next week's subject, I'm talking about psychic vampires with Elaine, who's actually wrote that book. So next week, tune in, and it'll be a really interesting subject, John. If you're off, you should tune in as well.
Yeah, I will check my availability and try to just wander on the show if I can, just to see what's going on and say hello.
And it's you know, it's again, I've seen the people who've just come in just now to share and get out, because we will be pulling cards and we will be doing our usual banter, John.
Yes.
You know, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to get people to change the way they think. You know,
yes.
Change can be changed, John. You know, and we've both changed over the years, and we've changed the way we think. And in some ways, we've reprogrammed ourselves, but we had to do the hard work, and that's educate ourselves. I kind of awaken that inner desire to learn and be open.
Yeah, I actually sometimes think that the people who go through the hardest times in life are the people who have got the greatest potential. If they're willing to do the work, they end up actually stronger than most people out there. You know, I mean, we kind of know the stereotype of the the spoiled child who grows up entitled and things like that, and they're not very emotionally strong. And we know the opposite, that if you've gone through more of a hard time, then as you go into adulthood, if you learn the lessons, then you can become very, very emotionally strong. And I think that lends itself as well to the potential that you have to become exceptionally abundant if you actually tap into that strength that you have and do some good with it. And one of the things you said that Derek, that I agree with as well, is doing little things for others, because apart from, as long as you're genuinely doing it to help the other person, you're not doing it to get something, but actually the way the universe works is that, the universe will kind of thank you for it. It kind of does do your karma little favors when you, I believe this anyway, when you do good deeds. If you have a little bit of abundance and then you share a very small part of it with someone who doesn't, then more comes to you. I firmly believe this, and it's something worth remembering.
Yeah, I think it's totally right, and it's like, we very often, it's like we get jealous out of others, and we've all went through that jealousy when we're younger. Not so much now as we're older, but instead of thinking about being jealous of others, I used to let that inspire me. So it's like, let the people who were maybe feel a bit envious of, oh, why does she get it? Why does he get it? Why do I not get that? I work really hard. Is learn, let that inspire you. Or I could do it. How often we said, I could do a better job than him or her? And instead of moaning about it, get inspired. Go and find out what they do. What makes them successful and not you. Learn from them. Speak to successful people. Go out there and learn. It's like, John, we've had to go through a learning curve of all this technology. And we see people doing podcasts and whatnot. And how many times have we come on here and mics haven't worked, things haven't worked, and we're still learning. And this is what I say to people. Even if we only get, just now there's 10 people watching, but we know that lots of people watch our shows later on and they'll learn something from them. I've often had people come back speaking about me, you, or other guests I've on the show. Well, that was really useful when I listened to that. Now I understand. And that's why we're having regular shows and chats now. And we're having it every Thursday anyway. And we're going to have the breakfast show coming up. And on my Patreon site, I've got a lot of guides and stuff. And yes, you can pay a small fee. There is some free stuff. And, it's my membership site where I'm collating a lot of useful information that we've collected over the years. And John's got his own website where you actually sell. John, you still get the shop. You can sell things to people. And, we're both available with lots of experience. If you just want to come in and have a wee card reading just to say, well, Derek, where am I going just now? I need a little bit of support or help. And we can help you see the options for yourself. And we should have a debate on the word psychics and psychic readings, what it actually means. And people get hot and bothered because they want a certain person to come through or they want a certain outcome. And they'll go to that psychic that gives them that outcome, rather than get somebody like me and you who'll give them the truth. Because you have to work hard. This is an ethic that people forget. You have to work to achieve. If I see somebody and I say, like, you know what, there's a new job coming up for you. You still have to apply for it, John.
Yeah. It's not going to fall out the sky and land in your lap. You actually have to go out and do the work for it. Someone isn't going to suddenly phone you up and say you start on Monday. All it means is it's going to appear in an advert somewhere. You're going to notice it, and it's going to be up to you to act on it, should I say? And this is that you get signs and signals. You get a little bit like that. You get hints and you get suggestions, and you get energies in certain directions. And then it's up to you. You have the free will to decide what you're going to do with that, and it's up to you to do something positive with it. And that it doesn't really matter whether it's a tarot reading, a psychic reading, a mediumship reading, or a bit of life coaching you're getting. At the end of the day, all we are is facilitators, and it's ultimately always up to you to act on the energies of the moment and take advantage of opportunities that you see. All we are doing is pointing in a particular direction and making little suggestions and helping you clarify your own thoughts, and then it's up to you to do something with them.
Yeah. Totally.
So really, we get paid, and you still have to do all the work. but actually, as tongue in cheek as that is, it's kind of essentially true. We're facilitators more than anything else.
And I'm just going back to some of the comments and some of the feedback here, and it's Megan Stewart saying, "I have abundance of cats, and I have 7, lucky number, and I love them so much." And with my youngest daughter, when she's with her mother, she's got 4 cats, and she loves them a bit. And we've only had
7 cats. Wow, Megan, 7 cats. I'm not sure whether to be jealous or terrified.
And it's like, but Jordan, the word is inspired.
I have one little black witchy cat this size. She's tiny. She's only like 2 kilos, and she's gorgeous, and I love her to bits. But she's not even too much of a handful anymore. She'll be 16 in October, so she's quite quiet now.
Yep, and the cats, symbolically, John, we both know the meaning of this, on the pyramids is a sign of intuition. And isn't it funny that we were talking about intuition and Megan, you made that comment? It's like
cats are thought of as being psychic, yeah.
So on the subject of intuition, right? You could say in the present circumstances, right? And there's a lot of talk that we are supposed to be getting the second half of help for fuel bills and stuff like that, because we got a little bit of a boost this month for getting help that we're supposed to have got in May or whatever towards our
election. You got more than I did then.
And it's it's a little bit, and it does help. And I noticed today that the fuel prices were actually coming down, which is a little bit more help. And I actually gave gratitude. I didn't moan about, they're really expensive. I gave gratitude to that. And, and it made me feel better. I didn't go into the moaning, I wish it would come down more and all that. And, and I even seen like on the news last night, and it was all the negative stuff about the ferries in the islands, where one's getting taken away, and how we're realising that and how important these ferries are and stuff like that. We see it on the news. But rather than saying, like, well, we're going to get a brand new ferry pretty soon. Yes, I know it's taking so long, right? And there is other solutions to it. And this is what I want to get back to is solutions, John.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the word that we don't often use enough, is what is the solutions? Rather than highlighting the problems, if you've got a solution to a problem, whether you're high up and you're a business manager, whether you're a business person, whether you're just people like me and you, it's like, and you've got solutions, then I think you should talk about solutions, not the moans and groans and picking. One of the things I did when I was in the corporate world, John, was I had a lessons learned database to look after. And then I remember going into a meeting, and it was quite abrupt, and quite saying, look, I've been looking through this, and I'm just a chef, and I was at engineering firms, and looking at all the kind of problems that oil rigs had in certain projects and whatnot, and the lessons were learned. But the lessons weren't passed over. So when I picked up on a few things that happened like 10, 15 years ago, and they're still happening today, one of the guys walked out the room because he was involved in that first project. And he was so embarrassed. I said, well, we keep making the same mistakes. And I had a word with him later on. I said, well, why did you do that? Walk out. It says, I felt so embarrassed. I says, it shouldn't be. It says, it wasn't your fault. You can't remember, you're overloaded and stuff. And we do make the same mistake. We make the same mistakes in love sometimes. We make the same mistakes in our work. We take the same type of work. When we get fed up, we don't like it. So we don't re-educate. So when we're talking about solutions, it's also about the lessons that we can learn. And that's part of abundance as well.
Yeah, abundance. I mean, we have to... here's the thing. I mean, we're just talking about the business world and things like that. I mean, I always remember my time in more office-based stuff that I kind of went through that phase of that as well. Corporate businesses, and they always. I mean, the positive way of looking at problems is to not look at it as a problem at all, to look at it as a challenge instead. So just don't ever assume or think of it as a problem. When something doesn't go right, it's not gone wrong, it just hasn't gone right. It's not a problem, it's a challenge. The reason is that the problems, by implication, you might not think have a solution. A problem is something you worry about. A challenge is something that has a solution. You just have to find it and work on it. So don't think about problems, think about challenges. And don't, and think about and just concentrate your effort and energy on solutions. And what is your desired end goal? And another thing to do is to don't worry about all the stuff that you can't control. There are things that are going to happen in life that you can't control. You can't control the price of your electricity beyond shopping around different suppliers. But if it's going to go up for everyone, then that's something you can't control. What you can control is everything that's within your means. You can find solutions within the means you have, and you can find solutions potentially to increase your means and increase your abundance. And so you can do things that you can be in control of your life in circumstances when you're not in control of all the things that are happening around in your life, if that makes sense. And it's just important to always be thinking about solutions and not be thinking about problems. Think of the problems as challenges, not problems.
Yeah, and I think that's what we do wrong sometimes. We get into that rut, which can cause anxiety, which can cause depression and all that, and we get into the same circle. And then we come back to what you call is the learnt behaviours. And it's, I'm just getting a wee text there, and it's like from Alana, hello Derek, thought I would pop in and say hi for my reading when you were in Inverness. My holiday is booked. We leave on Sunday. So that's abundance to her. And it's saying, if you're positive, and if you visualize it, things happen. And very often when I'm doing shows, John, and you see me deliver some of the shows, we pick up on that things I've been worrying about. And Spirit comes through and says, stop worrying. Just go and organise it, go and do it. The money will come from somewhere. And it's just like, yeah, I've had problems with the business rents and stuff like that, like anyone else who runs a small business. But funny, the money came this month because I'm focusing on myself and what I do best is this sort of stuff, and focusing on what I love doing. Readings come in, life coaching comes in, and I've got a spiritual workshop that's totally full now, because basically I told people what I want to do, and if I can help you get on this course, and they're coming. And I think very often we don't ask for that help. We don't put it out there enough. And that's like, being abundance is like, well, what does it mean to you? And that's what we're asking tonight is, and put it out there to people, what abundance really means with all these discussions that me and John were having about challenges, see the problems of challenges, solutions, what would make you feel abundant today? So I'm putting it out there, John. But what would make you feel abundant today, John, you personally?
Well, it made me £1 million. Yeah, but that's the answer that everybody always gives, though, isn't it? And that's what I was talking about earlier. Is to not to think about it in terms of money, and that just shows you that was the first thing that came out of my mouth when you said that, Derek. £1 million. So I have to learn my own lessons, and I have to practice what I preach, because none of us are perfect. And I feel a lot more abundant than I have probably for most of the rest of my earlier life, and a lot happier than I've been in a long time. And I think that is just because I have been doing a lot of the kind of, what people think of sometimes as the boring inner work, the hard work that actually resolves a lot of earlier issues and things like that, so that you can be in a better, stronger place, more confident place, and you can go and do more for yourself. And so I can sit here with a big smile on my face and joke about saying £1 million. But I know at the same time that when I'm thinking about my abundance, I'm going to be thinking about the things that I actually want. What would make me feel abundant right now, to answer your question, Derek, would actually be a flight to the United States so that I can visit my sister.
See, that's what I mean.
And that's an example of what, that's an example of what would make me feel abundant, not the £1 million, or not the money for the flight ticket, should I say, but the actual flight ticket, the knowledge that I have it booked, and the fact I can have a seat on an airplane and go and visit my family in the United States, and that would be amazing. That would make me feel abundant right now. So it's always about the things. It's always about the actual end result, the good thing that's going to happen in your life that you want to have. That's the thing that's the real abundance, not the means, not the tools by which you get it, like the money.
I said, and it's just like there's Alana just saying that's so true. We booked the daughter's bag was packed before the tickets were paid for. The kids are so excited now. We've been saying we have been to do it for a year and kept putting it off. Then I was like, no, we're doing it and it's done. That's, to me, is what it's all about. You see it,
we're going
to do it. The money will come from somewhere. Well done, Alana. And that's what we're trying to say.
Done, amazing.
And that's what we're trying to say to people is you can be abundant, and it's like John saying, and I know how close you are to a sister, and I know that would make you feel good going over there. And at one time, John, you couldn't even leave the country, and that's no fault of your own.
Yep.
And a long time complication.
At that time, a good form of that's a good form of abundance at that time would have been my passport. And I did eventually get it sorted. It took a little bit of wrangling, but I did eventually get it sorted. So, when you put the work in, even something difficult. I mean, something that most people would take for granted if you're born in a country, you need a passport. You think, oh, well, I just got a passport. I got one when I was years old. Some people say or something like that. I got a passport when I was about 50 odd. No, I'm 58 and had it a couple of years. So I was in my mid-50s by the time I got a passport for the first time in my life. Yeah, and it was just I'm not going to go into the reasons, but it was complicated. I wasn't born in the UK. And it took me a long time to get around to it because I wasn't in the right place psychologically or emotionally in my life. I wasn't in a place for a long time. I had a lot of issues for a long time that I don't have anymore. And so I didn't take care of these kind of things that most people take. So for me at that time, abundance was just having a passport that I never had before. And so it's amazing to have it. And now my abundance is actually getting to use it to go somewhere and visit my family.
And I have to laugh because I remember when you phone and say, oh, I've got the passport there. And one of the things that we've been wanting to do since we're probably 18, 19, John, way back was take you to the beer festival in Germany or anywhere abroad.
Beer festival in Germany.
Then I have to stop drinking. So we couldn't go anyway. It's like, well, that may happen, but you still go to the festival.
Again, I mean, my stop drinking wasn't permanent, but again though that was for a very good as well, because I've managed to massively improve my health over the last couple of years. I just went to see an asthma nurse, only a matter of a few days ago, and since the last time I got weighed, which would have been a year ago, I lost 10 kilos, which is about 1.5 stone. And I seem to remember saying to you, Derek, I'd lost about 2.5 stone in the last couple of years. Or 3.5 stone in the last couple of years, something like that. 3.5 in the last couple of years, yeah. So it sounds about right. In the last year, I'd lost about 1.5 stone. Makes perfect sense. I've lost all this weight because I've been living a much healthier lifestyle, and I've just been a much emotionally, psychologically, a much better place than I've ever been before. And if I can do it, I guarantee you anybody can do it. You only have to, anyone who knew me a few years ago and just did not know me to be this happy, cheery all the time, right? They'll think, well, if he can do it, I can do it, and that means you can do it.
I just totally agree. And it's funny, I pulled a card as you were talking there, and it was like, to help this Grace and I'll show you this card first, just to say the lovely angel card there. There's two friends talking, and it's just like to help heal the situation, see the other person's point of view with compassion. And so the abundance of compassion for others is another thing. And a lot of that is to do with health. A lot of that is to making sure that we're looking after ourselves and others. But just like the saying, if you're on an airplane, you have to put the mask on you first. If you're on it with air and looking after yourself. So we can be abundant. Now, it's all right having that trip to USA, as you say, and you'd like to go there, see your sister. But then we have to, John, as you said it, we have to look after your health, make sure you're eating the proper things, getting advice, and getting all the other things that we're now demanded of or whatever the law tells us to have, and getting all that sorted out. And, these so it's vaccinations or tests or whatever. And sometimes we can't change it unless we kind of all stick together and change things, which is a different subject. But we have to accept what's going on just now, and we have to accept things. We don't have to agree with it, John, and you have to accept a situation where you may be going through a divorce or a breakup, or accept a loss in the family, and that's the hardest thing, and it stops that flow of abundance, which can be very healing, being abundant as well. And sometimes if we've got abundance and love and we lose that thing that made us feel abundant, we have to create something new and something better, and also give gratitude for what we've had. And a lot of people, before we go on the subject of doing readings and stuff like that, a lot of people come to me and, they're wanting their dad or their mother to come through and help them, give them the advice. But the biggest thing that I say to people, the only person that can change or help you heal is you. We can assist with that. We can assist you to heal. We can look at options for you. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying this kind of because I know as soon as we say the word, the cards are coming, we're going to have a run of people asking for card readings and whatnot. And I'm just saying to people, before you ask the question and before you ask for a card, think about the word abundance and what you want in your life. And let's see what the cards say, John. What do you think?
That sounds like an interesting idea. That definitely sounds like an interesting idea. I'm just noticing a couple of the messages here while you were talking there, Derek. And so Megan says you're excited for you to visit your family. Thank you, Megan. Alana saying, I mean, it will be good for you, John, to get over to see family. Thank you very much, Megan and Alana, for wishing me well there and for sending me love. I really appreciate it. And likewise, all my love your way as well. Megan also saying not in a very good place in terms of your mental health, Megan. Perhaps I could you just, as a first card, just to see what they have to say for you there, Megan. The thing is, as I said earlier, if I can do it, anyone can do it. You have no idea. Derek knows where I've been in the past, but not many people in the world know. And all I can say is if I can do it, then you can do it. But here, a wee card here just for Megan to see what it says. And got the Queen of Wands. And honestly, if I draw a card like the Queen of Wands, and perhaps this represents you, being in a much stronger place, being much more in control of the sort of more practical aspects of life as well, and getting yourself together in a way that you might not have believed. I truly believe that you can and you will, Megan. But again, it is all up to you. It is you that has to do the work. I'm afraid that's the reality of it.
Yeah, and just for Megan there, and I'm coming close to the camera, I pulled 1-2 for you. And it's, look at this. Have faith and hope because there is something positive and you on the horizon that you can't see. But the fact, if you keep that idea of abundance or keep that positive thought going, Megan, you're going to attract good things in your life. Even when we suffer from mental health, we can still attract good things. And, it's like, if I get a bad day, I just let it all go through me, and I curse and I swear and I let it out. I don't sit there and worry about it. I just let it out, and it's just like when Aberdeen beat Celtic, or I celebrate that win. But if Celtic beat Aberdeen, like this last Saturday, because I'm a football dafty, it's like I felt terrible, and I was like, well, it's like they won all their games before, and I moaned and I groaned, and it was good to get it out because I'm good at playing that role of the victim, and sometimes we get caught in that role of being the victim. And what we've got to do now is think about being a victor and attract that abundance, attract all these good things, and attract the help that you need, Megan. So, let's see what other comments we've got there, John. And we'll put it out now that we'll pull some cards for the last 40 odd minutes or so. Or we'll answer questions or take questions from you. And if you want a card, and remember it's only a couple of minutes, and it's always better to get a reading from myself or John if you want to get more in-depth readings. And we are limited sometimes what we're allowed to say on here as well. And we don't like getting too personal, John, do we?
No, I mean we're going to be careful. Again, this is a public forum, and lots of people, not just the people who are on now with us, but also people who are going to be watching the video afterwards. And so we're not going to be saying anything personal.
Yeah, and I'll just get back to that bigger screen. Just saying, Megan says, it's been a pleasure, and you're welcome, Megan, and thank you so much, guys. She's saying it means a lot, much appreciated. And we're here to help. The whole idea of these chat shows is us giving back and hoping to motivate people to change their own lives, John.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time you help someone else change their life even a little bit, then again that abundance to you again, and more of your time, more of your life will change for the positive as well. So again, there's a certain amount of this leading by example as well, because if you guys go out and do a little bit of sharing as well, even with others, it's the world that we're living at the moment. We said there's quite a few different challenges going on at the moment. There has been for the last few years. It does seem like these challenges are going to stop anytime soon. So the more community oriented we are, the more that we are looking after each other, the more that we are sharing our abundances a little bit with other, the more that we will all be abundant, and the more that we will all be able to survive challenging times ahead.
I have to laugh. I'm laughing here, John.
Derek's busy reading something. There was an awkward pause for a moment there.
It's like and this is so true, and we've got to come back to this. It's like, I'm going to do this, and height scares me, but I know I can do this, and I'm not just doing it for me, I'm doing it for my family. And that's the solutions and overcoming the obstacles and the challenges that, yes, it's like, and I know you've got a fear of heights as well, John. It's like, because certain things.
Oh yeah, because you tried to get me to climb. You tried to get to not just climb a mountain, but jump over a crevice as well, and it just wasn't happening. I might have up the mountain, but I wasn't going to cross that crevice with a 2,000-foot.
I know, and it's like, I remember you were on the gondolas with me and Steve that day, and I was up the gondolas going up Ben Nevis. And the very next week, one fell, and I don't think you're ever going to go back on one. But I know if we had
I know. Yeah, it fell because the light airplane hit it, Derek. The same gondola that you managed to talk me to go on. I've never let you forget
it. And this comes back to a point: is there's things we can do to assist that, like hypnotherapy, changing your behaviours, regression, why we've got that problem in the first place, and all that. And over the years, we've worked on you, John, and you're a bit more confident with heights now, and some other things you've overcame, like I have, And a lot of my problems were because I'm dyslexic, was dealing with English and stuff like that. And now I'm becoming a bit of an expert in quotes and writing and stuff now, and I've overcome that. So we can, and that's abundance of help. That's all back to the subject again, is being abundant in help and learning ourselves and taking control. So purpose and jump. Right here, I've got a question here, and it's coming from a YouTube guy, so it's good to get some information. Yeah, look. Okay. I've got the wrong one here, right? Right. Scared of a pet snake. I love her bits as well.
Scared of snake.
There's a few here.
I'm really not very fond of snakes here.
Yeah. Right. Michael Barris. I was a parachuter, no purpose in jumping out of a perfectly good plane. But however, he does say it was one of the most exhilarating experiences of his life. So well done, you. Yeah. Well done. And removing fear, and I think he's so right, is removing fear from evolution reduces your limits. And I think a lot of the fear of lack and stuff like that creates that lack sometimes, is the fear. And it's something we don't often talk about, is fear, John, is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've written a few blog posts on fear on my website, johnzolko.com. Do go over there and have a look at some of the posts that I've written in the past on that subject. I mean, it's literally the opposite of It's literally the opposite of love. Sometimes people think of hate as being the opposite of love, but it's not. It's literally fear. Or if you like the abs, but I really think that, again, in the last few years, especially perhaps even 10, 15 years ago, the way that the world's been moving, we have almost been getting thrown into one situation after another that has been filling the human population with that little bit more fear incrementally as time goes by. And now we're in that kind of place where, the I don't know if it's the majority of the population of the world, or certainly an awful lot of people in the Western world, especially, are almost living in fear all the time. It's like there's always something else to be scared of, whether it's whether it's something that's going to poke you in the arm, or whether it's something that's going to come inside you and make you feel unwell and sneeze all the time, or whether it's a war somewhere, or whatever it is. There always seems to be something that is resulting in us feeling more and more fear. And we can all rely on the mainstream media to pump up that fear and ramp that fear, because that's what sells and that's what makes them a lot of money. So that's what they're going to do. And of course, they're going to, they're going to say what they're told to say by the establishment. So we kind of have to try to ramp it back down again for ourselves and not let that happen to us. And we have to really remember that fear is the thing that will restrict us most from our abundance as well. Fear is the thing that will hold us back the most. It will prevent us from acting. It will prevent us from loving. It will prevent us, from communicating effectively with each other. So we end up arguing more. So we've ended up with all this polarity, and it's all because of fear. So anything we can do, calm our fear, calm our nerves, bring ourselves back center is great. Ground yourself every day. That's what I was talking about earlier on about, daily affirmations, perhaps as well, like Angela does. Like writing down what you're grateful for, like going for walks in the country or along the beach, doing things that are good for the soul, doing things that are really looking after you, and combating this of fear that's getting thrown at humanity constantly all the time, that there's absolutely no need for. So I don't know what else to say about that right now, but I have written quite extensively on fear in a couple of different posts. It's worth having a look at my blog posts on that subject. But I just want to say the most important thing at the moment, from the perspective of your abundance and from moving forward and trying to create more abundance for yourself, is to not allow yourself to live in the fear of the times, is to really ramp that down for yourself and do all the self-care work that you need to do and that you want to do, and to make sure you've got lots of support structure around you, so that you're not falling victim to that mindset.
Totally applaud that, John. And Michael's kind of fear and ignorance are very similar. They both stem from not knowing what is on the other side. And I'm not going to correct you because you're not wrong. I would say you're right, Michael. And just on that, and there's a Louise, and she had a fear of going abroad, and now she's done it 5 times. So well done, you. And and there's one kind of more serious one there. If I can just bring it up, from Helen. If I can see, I'll hide that one. Here we go, Helen. And she's been listening to us, and she's not coping too well just now. This COVID-19 is not my anxiety. Indeed, fear. You need to learn to cope and not be feared. And a lot of people have been coming into me lately. Now we've opened up, John, in a professional sense, and in the kind of therapies that we do, and getting over COVID-19 and getting over all this fear. And yes, some people were ill, and we're not going to enter the debate of the vax, the illness, or all that. That's a different night, and we will do that one night, John. And it's this fear.
Try not to get banned from Facebook for doing it. Yeah.
It's like, and what I want to say to Helen is, what created that fear was the media, not us. It was somebody else that we're taking in, was the media. Every day we were bombarded with fear, fear, fear. So then our brain, it takes that fear and it makes us feel worse, and it brings on the anxiety. And there's so many people who have been affected by this, and it affects other things in their life, because then we blame COVID-19 on the situation, when really sometimes COVID-19 had nothing to do with the situation. It might have not helped them, but instead of looking for solutions to the actual root cause of a problem, we were talking about this earlier on, John, this is what we should be doing now. And this is what we want to do now by pulling a few cards and giving people a bit of hope and a bit of solutions. But it was great that we're generating these questions. And I want to say thanks, guys, because it's good that you're asking these questions and getting involved yourselves, because this is what we want this chat show to become. It's for you. We're giving our insights and information. And yes, we know everybody's dying to get a card pull, because we're going to get people asking. It's like,
have you noticed that Angela? Have you that Angela's on as you? Angela's on as a happy medium. She's at Tesco.
Oh yes, well, she's Mrs. Happy Medium now. So it's like,
she's Mrs. Happy Medium. Yeah, she's Mrs. Happy Medium is on, and she's at Tesco's.
She's at Tesco watching, and I think there's something true. And Michael, I really appreciate you coming on to the chat show and getting involved. And Michael saying, taking time to heal is necessary, no matter how long it takes. Do it for yourself, please. And that's what we're saying to people. And we've been saying this for a long time. There's Sally also saying, I had a fear of the dark, so I had some therapy and help from Suze McDonald, the Theta Healing, and we had her on. I think you met Suze, John? I think you've met her once, maybe.
I'm not sure.
She's an amazing therapist. Again, well done, Sally, for going and getting that help. And some of the Theta Healing stuff is amazing. And it doesn't really matter what you go and try, as long as you try something. I think that's what we're trying to say to people. And I know there was somebody asking for a card earlier on when we first asked, so I need to go back. Chloe, so she was the first one to ask for a card. So, before I do that, I did pull one for us all. Before, I always usually pull one for us all anyway, John. And it's Vanessa, lovely angel card here. Look at that. And it's to make your decision. Ask yourself which way brings me closer to my divine purpose. And I've been talking a lot about purpose this week, and which way takes me away from it. So this is a part of the abundance as well. And we're saying that to people is, what would make you feel abundant and what would make you feel closer to the divine? It's a kind of similar question. But anyway, let's get back to Rachel. John, have you got your cards ready? And we'll go in this. So if you want a card, guys, put up the word card. Or you want to ask a question with a card, that's even better. So Chloe, she was one of the first ones to ask for a card. So Chloe, John's going to do your card here.
Right, a card for Chloe. I would love a card, please. Okay, a card for Chloe.
You're on the big screen.
Yes, press the right button. You need an assistant there to help you, don't you? That's one of the things. So a card for Chloe. Right, a little cut here, and we'll see what we have here. What have I got? I've got the Knight of Wands. I've got a Knight of Wands. I don't know. I feel like saying, have you been rushing somewhere? Have you been thinking about rushing somewhere? I'm not quite sure. I mean, I've got a feeling when I see this chat that you might be in a hurry. Whether it's somewhere you're going or whether it's something that you want to do. Don't rush so fast. You're going to get there. That's what I feel like saying. But I cut one from this one as well. The Seven of Cups. The reason the reason is as well as you might be lacking focus a little bit. So taking a pause and taking your time a little bit and regaining your focus and slowing up a little bit, and you'll find that your direction is much more clear for you.
Fantastic, John. Really good.
Yeah, I hope that works.
I had to share this again from Michael. Thanks for your comment. And just getting back to that subject of fear. Fear stems from mental conditioning or mental reconditioning. My 1-year-old sees a zombie on TV and doesn't react in fear because he doesn't understand the concept. Fear is taught or demonstrated. And that's what we've been saying for weeks. Thanks, Michael, for reminding us. Now, just below him is Louise. Louise would love a card, and seeing you did I'm going to do it this week. We angel card for Louise, and I'll put myself on the big screen, John.
Oh, we'll swap places.
We'll swap places. I'm on the ball here. I'm on the big screen, and Louise. I've got a good feeling here, and I've actually got a feeling of love coming into your life. But caution, I don't know if you're talking to somebody or whatever, caution is warranted. Look deeper into this situation before proceeding further. So I feel that card is related to love, and there's maybe somebody you've been talking to, maybe not the right one, but a little bit of patience. And I do feel that what do you deserve right now? Visualize it, and it will come about. Negativity will block your progress. So, yes, we've had maybe some, I would say, negativity in the past, but Louise, there's a lot of good things coming, and I feel there's something new or somebody new coming into your life very shortly. And I've got a really good, excited feeling and a lovely feeling. So, put it out there. And sometimes we never know when the right time is or when the wrong time is. But we've just got to put it out there. We want to feel loved, because I do feel there's some love coming in your life pretty soon. And John, you're quite good with the romance cards and all that as well. But just a quick one for Louise. Do you feel she's going to
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I'd grabbed a different deck to have a look at, and I just kind of instinctively did that, and I didn't know why, but I just stretched up, and I've got it in my hand shuffling it. So here's one for Louise as well. And we've got the Nine of Swords. So I think now what I feel like saying, this is a different Nine of Swords card, but it tells the same story as the cards that I normally use. This person looks very scared, but those swords are not going to harm him. And what I feel like saying is, if there is an opportunity for you forward, which is in that kind of love arena, what I would suggest is, don't be so afraid of being vulnerable that you chase a potential good partner away. So it's important to show discernment a little bit on your own behalf, and not to kind of trip yourself up or shoot yourself in the foot, just because maybe it hasn't worked out in the past, and you might not have the same confidence that will work out in the future. So, just be aware that there might be that feeling, and that kind of feeling of resistance, and try to take that into account and sit with it and let it dissipate, so that you can come to a place of clarity and make good choices on your own behalf, and know when it's okay for yourself to trust a person and to show a bit of vulnerability. And perhaps that person that Derek is talking about will be there for you. That's what I see as a potential block, and it's something you can do something about and help you with.
See, you're getting a double whammy tonight, Louise. It's like Alana McKinnon will have a card, and we'll do a quick one card each, quick minute on each here, because I feel that since she got involved in the debate, she deserves 2 cards anyway. And look at this. I am the angel of families. The happy change or addition is coming to your family. Oh, wow. Well, we've got to be careful what we say about that. But I do feel that there's good news coming within the family. So I'm feeling it's more good news within your wider family coming. And I feel it's going to excite a lot of people, and it'll bring a lot of joy and happiness as well. So, John, you got a quick card for Alana? Since you asked
Alana.
Questions?
I've got a Queen of Swords. Do you feel that being in charge for, do you like to be in charge? Are you the one that normally is? Are you the matriarch in your home? I wonder. Can you be too strict now and again? Is it something you want to take a step back from? You don't have to control every situation. I just feel take a little bit of a step back, and allow positive situations to happen naturally, and they will. You don't have to be completely in control all the time. So I hope that resonates and that kind of makes some sense to you.
We're getting some comments there. I'll just go back to them. I think Chloe said thanks earlier on, and Alana says today is also 18-year, me and my husband got together, and on the 23rd of August, we will be 15 years married. Alana, well done, news.
Well done. Yeah, brilliant.
Thanks. And Louise is saying, thanks so much to both of us. So, go back to where we are next. And I think it's Sandra after her. Let's go back now. Sandra. Now, Sandra, I've got a lot of good things coming for you, Sandra, and I'm going to pull the tarot cards here, a bit more depth here. I feel I've been a little bit down. I don't know why I'm feeling frustrated, and I know you've been kind of out and about and holidays and stuff, and I don't know what's been holding me back, whether it's a health issue or something, or just feeling tired, because I'm feeling a little bit low, so maybe overdoing it. It's like, so there's that. So it's like foot into something new. And it's a temperance card. It's taking your time, though. So this is maybe said to you, Sandra, to slow down and take that time out for you. There's a lot of abundance around the family, because this is the abundance card. And that's the subject we had tonight on the family. So again, good news. I'm seeing 2 or 3 big events coming up. And I know you're involved in different things. And you have to let yourself be pampered. Right, and stop worrying about things that aren't going to happen, or how do you say this? When we start overthinking the what ifs, and it's like, what if this happens? What if that happens? Just go and do something, because something's holding you back, and it's like, just go and do it. Right? Don't think about the what ifs. She's going to kill me for this. It's like, and it's like, look at another holiday, definitely, because I'm looking at traveling again. So plan, and stop worrying about all the other issues that are going on. Just go and do what you want to do, and your husband wants to do. I've got to remember him. So Sandra, I hope that helps and gives you a bit of confidence. And we're getting on. There's Helen. There you go, John. You can do Helen.
Helen. Yes. Hello, Helen. How are you? I've just been quietly shuffling here while Derek's been talking. Well, I hope it's been quiet. Oh, here we go. That's just where I stop. Okay, a card for Helen. We've got the Justice card. Something is going to go better than it has been, I feel like saying. There's always a rightness in things. Justice isn't necessarily a legal thing necessarily. It's about the rightness of things. It's about equity, about what the right thing is in a situation. And I feel like saying right is on your side in some situation or other. It's not necessarily an actual legal situation. It could be, a bone of contention perhaps with someone, or a particular situation that you or your family are in that you're having to deal with that's been difficult over the last little while. I feel like right is on your side and that right will prevail, is what I feel like saying. So we hope that helps a little.
Just a quick cheerio to Michael.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much, Michael.
Yeah, we'll pull a car for you next time you come on. It's like, but thanks for getting involved. Here we go. I've lost my way. Sandra says thanks. Where were we? We've done Sandra. Clear Rachel. Mandy. John, I'll get you to do this because I'm going to sort out a couple of wee problems here. It's like, so Mandy.
I'll take another bit. Wrong one again. Okay, there we go. Derek's having slight technical issues. Maybe he needs me and Elgin with it. Yeah. Not promising that I would do any better, right enough. Well, Mandy, I'm going to do a little card for you here. Card, will I find love? Well, okay. Well, we shall see what the cards say about that, Mandy. We can all use a little bit of that. And I've got the Strength card. So okay, what we've got here, 11. Yeah, the 11 card. The Strength card kind of suggests holding on for a little bit. I actually always tend to think the Strength card is being very positive for love. I mean, what you've got here is a different kind of compassion with this Strength card, though, with the lady managing to tame the lion. So it could well be that when love comes for you, that there's a greater companionship involved and a greater level of trust involved, and it's not something that is, it's not going to be something that's fleeting. But again, because it is a major arcana card, it's suggesting that it's a little bit more longer term, but that also means it might be a little bit more longer term before it happens. So it might not be sort of this week or next week. It might be more over the next sort of few, perhaps 3 or 4 months or so, I feel like saying. But there is some out there for you, and it's a kind of love that can come with a great deal of strength, and not necessarily requiring courage, but just like the courage of the lion. It just means I feel like saying that it's going to be the kind that involves a strong feeling of companionship and some of those aspects of relationships that are more important than just the kind of fleeting romantic side that happens in the beginning. But that's also the kind of relationship that sometimes takes a little bit more time to come your way, and a little bit more time to build. So pace is needed, but I do feel like saying it's positive, and it could be happening for you at some point over the next sort of 3-4 months or so. I hope that's hopeful for you. That might be some love abundance for you moving forward over the next few months. And here's hoping it comes
true. Thanks, John.
You're more than welcome. How are you getting on with the technical stuff? How are you getting the technical stuff?
We know how every now and again we get these people coming on and being negative, and because people can't YouTube, I've removed somebody. Put that politely. It's like,
fair enough.
because there's a bit of a connotation.
All right, okay. So it wasn't someone trying to sell card readings then for a change, was it? No, we tend to get that as well, don't we?
Yeah, and here we go. So we missed anyone here? Sandra says thanks. Now I've got. If you want a card, guys, just put the word card on a wee question. Heather Lane. Did I miss somebody here? Heather Lane. Here we go. Heather, can you have a card? And now that I'm back, I'll give John a wee break. It's like, so I'll put me up.
Put me up though.
I'm on the big screen here. Here we go. Heather, I've got a really good vibe around you, and I feel like it's like I've just overcome something, and I'm feeling really good, feeling good about myself, a bit more confident. I don't feel you've always been like that, Heather. And I'm going to pull a wee angel card here, and it's like, it's funny this. Is yoga and exercise are essential for your well-being, peace of mind and spiritual growth right now. So it's exercise, it's being in touch with yourself, get in touch with that inner, and it's also about grounding yourself. So maybe there's things in the past that's made you a little bit anxious or depressed or whatever, and what they're saying is come back into yourself, have some time with yourself. Looking forward, and I've seen the number 13 in my head, and that usually means in numerology it's linked to the death card, but it's the death and transition. But when you put 1 and 3, it becomes 4, and it's the emperor, and it's finding that masculine side, Heather, and taking the control back, right? Because sometimes we get too, how do you say, worried about things that are going on around us, and instead of looking for the solutions and to the challenges that we have, we look at all the things the what ifs again, and what could negative things that can happen. So look at the positives, because I'm seeing a celebration. And so this is good. This is backing up what I'm thinking. And this is telling me that it's time for you to take the control back, have a lot of fun, and you're going to get a lot of support there. There's a lot more coming in, and I've got connections from upstairs as well. I've got a good father figure coming around there who's quite cheeky, quite funny, and I'm smelling a lot of tobacco around him as well. So it's somebody that smoked, and he's coming in sort of saying, "Yeah, I've got it, babe. Don't worry." It's like, so it's definitely a male figure. I'm not sure if it's a father figure or somebody older anyway. But I'm not going too much into that because it's not a night of mediumship, and it's it's quite positive for you. So back to the two of us, John, and who else we got here?
Wonderful.
Mandy O'Reilly, would love a card. Elizabeth, what you can see a healthy committed relationship for me at some point. I like how she says at some point. So you are seeing
at
it
some point.
with me.
At some point.
It's good to have that abundance thought at some point. But what about I'm already there in my mind? Just change that mindset a little bit. John, I'll put you onto this to fill a card.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Well, okay. What have we got here? Marie O'Reilly. A healthy, committed relationship at some point. Yeah, for a healthy, committed relationship, I think Derek was hinting at you want to be in the right place to actually invite it into your life. I've got a feeling that maybe you might have not had that in some way, and that might be what's kind of affecting the confidence, and it's kind of holding you back from saying, "Can it happen now, please?" It's kind of saying at some point, like the hope that we might say yes if we think of it as being at some point in the future. It's important. It's important to be in the right for it yourself, so that you actually invite it in. And that's true of all of us. Now, I'm going to have to show you this because it's what came up, the 10 of Swords, right? Now, what this means is this is endings, though. This looks like a scary card, right? But this is actually about an ending. And what are endings always full of? New beginnings. So that, what's really important about this, I feel like saying that you've been hurt. I feel like saying that you've been hurt, and what this card is representing is, that hurt, but it also represents the fact that is a situation that's now closed. And this might be the reason why I felt urged to give the advice that I did, about being in the right place, so you invite the right kind of relationship and of person into your life. It's important that you give yourself an opportunity to and recover from what hasn't already worked for you before. And so it's this thing that you need to perhaps think about a little bit more. I can see you've looked at yourself, and you've looked at your boundaries and things like that, and you feel ready, and that's great. That's great. Then I'm really glad that you have done that work. I just feel like saying keep paying attention to it. Don't assume that the work is done. It's just, look out for yourself, be good for yourself, to yourself, do some of the stuff we were talking about earlier on when we were talking about abundance. Be kind to yourself, go and walk yourself in different ways. Remember to love yourself, and see what happens, because it can. And look what I have now. I've got this Principles. So certainly there can be someone there for you, and perhaps there is someone there for you. It might not happen straight away, but it's important that you look out for you in the best way that you possibly can, and look out for your emotional and psychological health, and you keep yourself as positive as possible. I was giving myself a bit of a tongue twister there, and yes, it can absolutely happen for you. It can absolutely happen for you. This chap looks very reliable. I'm having to take a second check here at this deck. He looks kind of reliable. He looks almost like he's got a kind of a princely look about him. I've got a vibe about this chap here, that he is reliable. There is someone there for you, but I do feel like it's a little bit further off. I don't think it's around the corner. I do think it's a few months away. But if you're as ready as you say you are, I would it might happen sooner. Otherwise, the universe will just wait until you are ready, and perhaps your Prince Charming will be there for you. But he'll be there for you at the right time for you. Okay.
Yeah,
if that helps, I hope for you.
I feel like this quickly, because I've pulled a wee card when I was there, and it's all about taking the time out. This card, Vanessa. Tessa, time out. You've been so busy taking care of everybody else's needs, but now it's time to stop and take care of yourself. And and I feel
sounds like a great idea. Self-care, yeah.
Self-care.
Yeah, that confirms everything I've said. I think it's just about self-care for now, and looking out for yourself, and being nice to yourself, and loving yourself, and doing all that, and keep yourself ready, and at the right time, that person will be there.
Yeah. And we've now got Sally Price. And I'm going to pull a wee angel card for Sally and see what I pick up around you, because I'm feeling quite angelic. So I don't know if you're into your angels. So I'll put this bug, I'll put me up here, John. It's like, if you're into your angel, Sally,
you always really put the wrong one up.
It's just the way that the software, I'll get used to it as well. And Angela's now back, so she's back as well. And it's fun to speak about angels, and Angela walks in. So now,
Angel,
aye, Angela, and it's what I'm saying to Sally just right now is things haven't been quite the best for you, right? And this card is telling me this as well. And you get a lovely card here about isolation here as well. And conditions aren't favourable right now. Wait or look into other options and ask the angels to help and guide and comfort you. So the fact I was thinking about angels is using your guides, using your own intuition and your own team, your spiritual guides, to get that assistance and move forward. I feel sometimes we create false walls sometimes, or false problems. And I'm not saying you do that, Sally, but sometimes our fear creates these boundaries and walls, like Marie was saying earlier on. And I feel, visualise yourself as a tank and just blowing a big hole in that wall. Get that protection around you and that grounding around you, and really feel as if you can do anything, right? Because I feel in the past that you've let yourself down, or you feel as if you've let others down when you haven't. You've been a very successful person. And we've got the Archangel Michael, the protector angel, coming up as well. And lovely angel, I am with you, giving you the courage to make the life changes that will help you work on your divine life purpose. So I did a lot of posts this week speaking about purpose. What is my purpose? Derek, what am I supposed to do? We know we come to this planet with a purpose, and we know what we need. And we're just connecting to that inner self. And I feel that inner work is starting to pay off, Sally. So keep going. Well done, because I'm getting your guide saying well done to you. So hope that helps you. It's like back onto the two of us, John, side by side here.
Side by side. We keep swapping places as well. It's quite funny.
It's good. So I've missed anyone in here. I've missed Haida or anyone else with a card before we
you're having to do the hard work, aren't you? You're running the show.
Yeah, I've got Angela who's walked in. She's wanting a card, John. So you want to pull one for Angela here?
Pull one for Angela. Angela wants a card. Where's my card? I can almost saying behind you, where's my card? A card. Okay, a card for Angela. Oh yeah, we're getting we're getting a few more on there.
She's come in. She's been working tonight, so she deserves a card.
She deserves a card. Well, for some reason, and Tuesday to come out. So I've got the Knight of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. Here we go. We've got two cards together here: the Knight of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. So now here we go. I mean, on the one hand, I feel like saying you feel like jumping in. On the other hand, I feel like saying you feel like stopping and thinking about it. See, it's like you got a kind of a situation where you need to make up your mind whether you want to jump in or stop and think about it. And so you've got that kind of headspace going on. I feel like going where you're not quite, you're kind of confused. A little bit like Seven of Cups. It's like lacking focus. Do I jump in or do I think? Or do I stop? And in the meantime, Angela, the trouble is that you tend to stop when that happens, isn't it? And then you end up not doing the thing. And so perhaps you do need to pause a little bit, but remember all things that you've learned, like the Page of Pentacles is all about, learning as well, and scholarship and what have you. Remember all the stuff that you've learned. Remember all the experience and you've come. Remember what you can do, and remember that you're ready, and when you are, and when you have yourself in the right headspace, you'll be in the right place to jump right in with whatever it is we're talking about. But there's something on your mind, the thing that you want to do, and you're not quite sure, you're not quite there, but you just want to go and do it, but you just need to make it a mind to go and do it.
Yeah, that would be right.
So true, John.
That makes sense. That'll be why two cards insisted on coming at me there. I don't, two of them. I tried to pull one, but two came, and that'll be the reason.
Yeah, to listen to my own inner voice and not someone else's.
That's it.
The self-talk. Don't let that self-talk get you down. It never does you any favours.
Yeah. So I've now got Leanne. Hi, Leanne. And Andrew's saying hi too. And she's looking for a card. And see, you did all that work. I'll give you a wee break, John. It's like, see if we get the right screen this time. Oh, here we go. Work that time.
Yeah, you're getting high of it now.
Leanne, and we've got this. We're getting some love hearts here on the other screen. so people like what we do.
Oh, cool.
And nice to get some
love hearts. Don't we? I like that. I can't see them on my screen. I'm just looking at this.
On the iPad there, I've seen a few love hearts. Now, this is all about security. This is all about Leanne. This is about security, right? It's about the protection, the four wall security. And it's maybe you've been feeling a little bit insecure lately. And this is the angel's way, or our guides, or whatever people up there, whatever you believe in, is saying, you stop worrying about the security side of things and maybe take a little bit of a risk. Because yes, it's been a bit of a struggle. We know why. You've done a lot of work you've had to do. It's not been brilliant. It's not been that bad either. There's new learnings there, but it's still been a bit of a struggle, or challenging, as the word says. But there is something new coming up, and you're going to put your foot into. You're not quite there yet, but you're just about there. And that dream, and that abundance dream as well, that we're creating tonight, will help all you, the whole family. I feel abundance, I feel happy families, I feel abundance of love as well. So it's maybe feeling more part of a family, or being in a happier situation at home as well. And we know what we're on about there, Leanne. And I keep getting the temperance card coming up for you. It's a foot into something new. And I feel it's like, think bigger about the love art that's going to come in, think bigger about the new job or the situation you're going to get yourself into, because the security is there, the security is going to come. And I'm really feeling within the next 2 or 3 weeks, there's going to be an opportunity for you. So it'll be interesting to see what develops, Leanne. And you need to come through and see us, and come in and see the two of us, because we'd both love to see you again. So Leanne, very positive. Just get rid of the fear, as the guy says earlier on. So I'm going to go into Rosemary Lowe, who I missed earlier on. And somebody's asking where you're based, John. I've told them in Aberdeen. It's like,
yes.
Rosemary Lowe.
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen. We can put on I was in there today, quickly, just a sort of flying visit outside Aberdeen, getting a therapy. So we go and see other people as well. And I had a bit of a groin strain, because I went out on the bike first time in 2 years with my daughter, and I think I overdid it. It's like, but good fun. I got on my bike, I took action.
Oh dear.
But yes. You know what? Sometimes it's worth the pain. To see our face out on the bikes and do things together was worth it.
Yes.
So Rosemary, let's put the two of us on, John, side by side. Let's do a quick card pull for Rosemary. Right.
Why not?
You go first, John.
Okay, that's cool. I have got my shuffling cards here. Oh, Rosemary, cards. Now, what do I want Rosemary to know at this time? And we have got the pages. Are you feeling a little bit defensive for some reason? This chap's like this because he feels like someone's, getting at him, or he feels like they need to defend himself or something like that. Potential some kind of argument. I feel like saying, I don't know why. But he's also holding on to something. I don't know. It actually looks like mushrooms for some strange reason. I don't think you'd be arguing over mushrooms. But he seems to be holding on to something and protecting something. I wonder whether you're feeling a bit defensive over one. I feel someone who you've been protecting. And I'm just wondering. I want to pull another card to get clarity. I'll just take straight one off the top again, the wise one. Okay. It's protecting or you're looking after someone older in your family. That is something that I'm wondering about as well. I don't know whether it's getting any question on that or not, but I just feel like saying there's someone older in the family and there's a reason why you might have been feeling a little bit defensive over the last little while, trying to help or look after this person, or perhaps this person's been the source, the reason why you've been a bit defensive. Perhaps they're not expecting or accepting, perhaps all the help you want to give. I'm just wondering what, if there's a situation there that's making any sense. But I do feel like saying the Ten of Rods again coming up again has been a bit of a struggle. But again, this also suggests that could be coming to a close, that there could be a solution and a new beginning coming, moving forward. I'm throwing card at you here, really, but it's just because it's what's coming to me to do. Draw a few cards for this situation for some reason. The Seven of Cauldrons, again, coming up again. It's just cards that are kind of suggesting some kind of lack of focus on here, a feeling of defensiveness around a particular situation, the person being involved in it. I don't know whether Derek's getting anything here, Derek, are you?
Yeah, and the first card I pulled there was
it's about as much as
and it's like, it's a bit of a struggle. People are, you're having to follow somebody or help or care for somebody. So I don't know what that's all about, and it's a bit challenging. But I've got you taking control of the reins and really taking charge here, and not be pulled in different directions. And quickly here, this is, now see the roses there around that card. Now the rose is a symbol of love. But when we look at the rose is quite thorny, so it's tough love. And that could mean, it doesn't have to be a partner, it could be other people. And it's been a bit of a struggle and it's put you down sometimes in the past. Money isn't your driver, because you look at the money, it's not helping, right? But it's important for you. So it's good to focus on something for you, whether it's bringing money in, whether it's you spending a bit more money on yourself. But the money is a bit of a key to this. And it's not thinking of lack. But I also feel some good things about money as well, as I was saying earlier on. Because, like, you're probably like me, money isn't my biggest driver. My biggest driver is seeing people succeed in life and getting through their challenges. But it's nice to have a little bit and reward myself now and again, And it's really important. There's something calling me. And so, it's positive. It is a positive reading, but just refocus on yourself and where you are at your life, Rosemary, and really go for it. And there's Karen, and we'll make this the last card for. Yeah. There's Karen.
We're doing Karen
McKinley. This will be the last card. Then we'll have a wee closure and say thanks to everyone. So Karen, I'm going to pull one quickly as well, John, just quickly before you start there, because I'm getting drawn to.
Okay, on you go.
Karen, have you been a bit of a hermit? Right? I don't know if you've been staying in or whatever, but I feel it's like when you're busy, you love it, but when you're quiet, you're a bit miserable, right? And I feel there's been a bit of that time, but go inside you, because you've got a lot of wisdom and you're very sensitive as well, Karen. And I'm also feeling that the moon is the sign of intuition as well, and it's very feminine, and it could be women's issues as well. I'm not going to go into that in the health side because I'm not allowed to, but it's saying that there's a lot of feminine issues going around you, and that's the intuitive side of you. So that's that, and you will survive. You will get over this, and you are stronger than you think, Karen, and it's time to use your skills in a more positive way. So fear's holding you back, and you've been worrying about some health aspects as well. Go and get some help and do some positive things for yourself. John, quickly.
Yep. Okay. Yes. 4 of Cups. Yeah. Actually, I mean, this is just kind of confirming, I think, what Derek's saying there. If Derek's feeling the need to advise you to do some positive things for yourself, it might be because you've not really been feeling all that satisfied the last while with the way things have been going. This chap it's not like he doesn't have any abundance, but he's just not satisfied for some reason. It's almost like he thinks that no matter what he has, it isn't enough. That's not the way that I'm feeling about your situation. I'm just feeling that I'm getting that vibe, but not necessarily those thoughts. If that makes sense, it sounds a little bit confused. I'm just thinking that you want to look on the optimistic side of things. You want to be, thinking about abundance in the way that we were thinking about it at the beginning of this show. Doing all that positive stuff. I've suggested this to one or two people tonight. It would be a great idea for you as well to think about self-care, thinking about looking after yourself, being kind to yourself, loving yourself treats, and just doing all that for you, for no other reason than just being good to yourself. And you'll find that your general level of optimism will improve with that. And moving forward, think a lot better for you.
Fantastic. And
hopefully that was all right.
Then somebody's asking about new readings. There's John's information there, John's website, www.johnsoracle.com.
Johnsoracle.com. Yeah, what I'll say, I do. Okay. When you go to the website, though, the option to book online is available. However, it's something like 2 weeks in advance, unfortunately, and that's because I do another job. And I don't always get my rota early enough to be able to put them quickly than that. But I don't want you to worry about having to wait 2 weeks. If you feel it's a bit more urgent, then what to do is send me an email. And the email is on the website as well. There is also a phone number on the website. You can send me a message and leave a message or something, and I'll get back to you. And I'll let you know what the earliest day is that I have available for you, rather than relying on the online booking system. But obviously, if you can book online and you don't mind waiting a couple of weeks for it, please do it. But absolutely, I am available for readings. So thank you for asking.
That's good. And obviously, people on my Patreon membership site there, if you want to sign up and join, there's lots of good information there. And it's worth. I would say I'm worth it. It's like there's some free stuff there. I've got some useful information. If you scroll down, we've got spiritual workshops coming up, and I've got some more live shows coming up next week. And the subject is psychic vampires. A great subject, because some people probably tonight that I've done readings for have had negative energies around them, and it can suck that energy out of you. And this subject next week will help you deal with that, and how other people overcame this. And the author of the book, the Cheerleaders and Vampires in Life, she's Elaine. She's coming on the chat show. Really interesting. So get the questions lined up for next week, because I think this will be an amazing subject, and it'll be interesting to see and hear all about our book as well. So that'll be fascinating. And if John, you're around, pop on. And I want to say to everyone, thanks again. I'm sure you say the same, John. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes,
I know it's a lot of people watch this back.
Yes.
I know a lot of people watch this back.
It's been brilliant to see you all. Thank you. Yes.
And thanks to everyone for getting engaged in the debate, not just the pulling the cards, and getting engaged and talking about abundance tonight. And yeah, we're building up our presence online as well, and we've also had people on YouTube tonight and Twitch. So we are building up the podcast and the chat shows, and we've got some really exciting ones coming up as well. And both me and John are working behind the scenes, learning about technologies to bring some exciting stuff for the winter as well. The colder nights. It's like when it's cold tonight. It's like so. Thanks again, everyone. And John, I'll speak to you in a wee minute. And everybody out there, thanks for tuning in. And
see you all soon.
Positive. And remember, keep seeing that positive situations for the future, and have that abundance feeling, and smile.